Joining me via Skype is a financial analyst, Nnaemeka Obiaraeri, also to bear his mind on this. Nnaemeka, the latest report by the BBC clearly brings Shell into the Malabu field controversies. Why do you think Shell lobbied intensely for these fields?
Tolu, nice. My pleasure being online with you. I want to tell you this. I'm not surprised. We just like the last your guest before me spoke. You will discover that the problem we have in Nigeria, and has always been the problem that have bedeviled us since over the last 50 years. We've had leaders who consider their interest over and above the interest of over 170 million other Nigerians. Now let us ask ourselves this question. Some people, some group of people were involved in these negotiations. Just imagine 9.2 trillion billion barrels of crude oil were sold for $1.3 billion. Was there no studies that were conducted before the negotiations were entered into? That is the same way our assets in other areas have been sold. Remember the power assets where we spent over 2.35 trillion naira to build up over years, was sold out for a party for 404 billion naira. And up till now, we are still in darkness. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. That is the ugly situation, the ugly commentary about Nigeria's situation. We elect leaders who go there to further their own nest, who negotiate to destroy Nigeria for their own interests. How did we even go about allocating these oil blocks? Ask yourself this question. The hydrocarbon cost has been one of the biggest costs of Nigeria since crude oil was discovered. All they do is they gather among themselves, the elites, the cabals in their kitchen, and they will share our oil assets for peanut among themselves. That is why today we have billionaires. Go and check the dollar billionaires in Nigeria. Go and check their history. Go and check their trajectory. Compare it to the dollar billionaires in the US, like the Walmart, like the Bill Gates of this world, like the Warren Buffett. You will discover that their own history is quite different. Those ones discover something. Those ones added value. The Nigerian billionaires, dollar billionaires, apart from Chinedu Echero that sold his upspot to Apple, are dollar billionaires that were created out of balkanizing, stealing, and looting of Nigerian assets. This is just a clear example. And just like the last speaker pointed out, it is left for Nigerians to sit down and ask themselves this question. How do we get out of this thing? How do we come together to elect for ourselves leaders who will not sell our assets for peanuts? The Halliburton scandal is still there. America has concluded their own end of the case. Still in Nigeria, those who are involved in the Halliburton scandals, those who collected $182 million of bribe to sell off our oil assets are still there. Not prosecuted, not tried, and everyone is playing kumbaya as if everything goes, nothing happens. This is Nigeria for you. This is our sad commentary. How we get out of this? I want to also commend the current federal government for even raising this matter. I know that people will say that the contract has been signed, but I think we must find a way of retrieving values from this asset. We've discovered it. Shell clearly and those involved underpaid Nigeria atrociously so that they can make private gain. It is very, very absurd. It is very abnormal. It's unacceptable. It is either we revoke the contract or find a way of making them to pay the appropriate amount of money so that Nigerians will also have benefits of the hydrocarbon in the Niger Delta.
Indeed, a valid point there, talking about revisiting the contract, just like some people have called for the reassessment of the privatization of the power sector. But taking it another way now, Nnaemeka, having operated for nearly 60 years in Nigeria and benefiting from this economy, do you see this company, this Shell's deal, not in a way, you've already identified it as almost like like something like a fraud, if you call it that way, so not being so straight about it? So are you saying that this is not in any way in the country's interest?
It is not in the country's interest. It's not only Shell. If you go back and review everything that has to do with the sale of Nigerian assets, there are no transparency. Ask yourself this question. The way the petroleum ministries, the presidency, and the NNPC operate, is it the same way the British Petroleum operate? It is the same way the Petrobras operate? Is it the same way Petronas operate? Now, everything about Nigeria, the opacity in the oil and gas sector is so sickening. And these are deliberately created opacity. Any attempt to bring transparency and openness in that place is met by brick walls. Now, one of the landmark bills that have been stuck, have been lying fallow on the floor of the National Assembly over the last 4 years is the petroleum industry bills. Every bill, every attempt that has been made to open up that space, to make it more transparent. Very, very soon we'll go into another round of oil block bid. You will be surprised that at the end of the day, they will still share it among themselves. People who are still holding this country in a jugular. This is the only country where oil blocks are owned by individuals. And apart from individuals, they also use some of these multinational companies as fronts to steal and to loot from Nigeria. That is why we do not have anything going for us in that area. Going forward, is the Shell experience. I will tell you this. If we have altruistic, honest, patriotic and selfless leaders who put the interest of Nigeria before their own personal interests, I don't think we'll be in this kind of mess that we are in now. There are other assets, like the Minister for Budget and Economic Planning said that very, very soon they are going to announce assets that they are going to sell based on the economic recovery and growth plan. Now, at the end of the day, you ask yourself, will they be very transparent about the sale of those assets?
That's a big question, Nnaemeka. That's a big question. Hold your thoughts. I know you have a lot to say, but I'm still going to be coming back to you because we're glad to have you back. Now, the Naira weakens to 410 per dollar against the United States currency on Tuesday, down from 405 to $1 recorded on Monday. This was despite the Central Bank of Nigeria's attempt to improve dollar supply and prop up the local unit. The central bank had on Monday auctioned $100 million in forwards to be settled between 1 week and 30 days, shortening the settlement to inject liquidity. On the official market, the Naira closed at 306 to $1. Now, back to Nnaemeka now. Nnaemeka, now all the moves by the Apex Bank away from the oil and gas sector now to our currency issue. Now, all the efforts by the Apex Bank, one way or the other, many have argued that it seems to be paying off, sorting out the BTAs, the PTAs, medical, school fees, talk about and all of that. But something still seems to be wrong. Even yesterday, they opened an SME window. What do you really think is happening to the Naira?
Tolu, I will tell you this. The Central Bank of Nigeria need to open their eyes very wide and observe what is happening in the system, especially with deposit money banks. And I will tell you this. There's nothing wrong with the Naira. Remember that the Central Bank of Nigeria has been intervening in the system, and they've been pumping in dollar to ensure that they stabilize, to create stability in the foreign exchange market. Over time, if you look at what is happening, crude oil output, which is our major source of foreign revenue, has inched up. They're producing about 2.1 million barrels per day. The current market price of the crude oil has also gone up. It is now consistent. As of today, it's trading at $56.7 per barrel. Now, if all these things, if you look at it, it means more money coming into our reserve, more money revenues to the federal government of Nigeria. But what we have observed is that the Central Bank of Nigeria, in as much as they want to intervene and ensure that monies get those who require it, especially those who require dollar for the invisible transactions like medical tourism, even the interventions in the other sectors. The Central Bank of Nigeria must, as a matter of responsibility, watch the operations in the deposit money banks and the BDCs. I will give you an example. I don't really still understand why they're still creating different rates for different sectors and for different markets. The Central Bank of Nigeria must have to close all these markets and put everything into one basket. As long as you create headroom for arbitraging, I will tell you, people will abuse it and people will try to manipulate the system as much as possible. Now, take for instance now, they have especially two official windows. Sometimes they come into what they call wholesale to the commercial banks. Sometimes they come to what they call the retail, the interventions where they do forward for our standard obligations. The Central Bank, as much as possible, must watch. They must empower their supervisory department. They must empower their consumer protection department. If they should ask me, they should double or triple staff personnel strength in that place. In those two key departments, the Central Bank of Nigeria, one of the ways Central Bank of Nigeria must be able to streamline and have absolute control of what happened in the foreign exchange market is to have bird eye view and total control of what happened between the transmission channels from central bank to the deposit money banks and to the end users. There's a lot of games going on in the system, and I will tell you this. There are a lot of games, there are a lot of manipulations, there are a lot of underhand practices. That is why you saw the naira after coming at 380. It's now eating up to 410. The real demand for the dollar does not, let me tell you, the true value of the naira to the dollar is around 360. Central bank knows this. And the only way they can ensure that the naira does not receive more bashing is to watch it. You cannot have people you regulate play games and you don't know it. And they must also look in-house. What is happening within in-house? Central bank authorities, especially those of the board of management, must find and devise ways of ensuring that every dollar that is pumped into the market gets to the real consumers without people trying to round trip and manipulate the system. And they must close the gap. This issue of having different rates for manufacturing, different rates for oil and gas should be stopped and stopped forthwith. It is giving room for arbitrage. It is giving room for speculation. It is giving room for people that want to change and shortchange the system. And all I will tell you is every human being is selfish. If you give them room and you create systemic inefficiencies, they will take hold of it.
All right, there, Nnaemeka